live on your tablet, phone, and the KUTV app. This is 2 News Live.
Thanks for joining us on 2 News Live. I'm Brian Schnee. Almost the weekend, Thursday, November 2nd. We are going in depth tonight on a couple different topics. We're going to look into parking reservations that some resorts have just rolled out in some of the busier parts of our canyons. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. And also, a very interesting situation went down in Midvale last night. I caught some of it on camera. Brian Malahy looking into it tonight. He will join us in just a couple of minutes. But there's a lot to look into here. Once we, of course, get there, you can always get in touch with us throughout the show. So as you see something, you want to say something, use the hashtag 2NewsLive to join the conversation. You can always weigh in on social media, of course, on Facebook and Instagram and X. He's on all of them. Meteorologist Trent Parker here with your first alert forecast.
Yeah.
Hey, I see something behind us.
Yes.
We're talking hoops tonight?
Yeah, the Jazz. Another game tonight, right? Back to back.
On KJazz.
See if we can get another win.
On KJazz.
Yeah.
So we're keeping it going here.
Step on
Oh, you
over
need
here
me off the
way.
court.
Yep,
Okay.
Yep. And
Get
we're
me
gonna
off the
pull
court.
up this forecast real quick.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too bad of a night out there. Temperatures in the 50s as we head through the game. A couple of clouds, but really not a huge weather
Look at
story.
that upgrade to the Delta Center.
Look at that.
Oh,
huh?
man, it
Yep.
looks like a...
Gone are those words that start with a V.
Yeah,
Yep.
no more V.
No more V.
A lot of Delta.
Back to the D.
Temperature looks good, whether you're meandering to or from the big Delta Center here downtown, just a few blocks from 2 News. So should be nice.
A little chilly if you're walking home, but
Would be really nice to get back-to-back wins, huh?
Yeah, it would be nice to get up to 500, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, let's get into the forecast real quick, and I'll show you what we're looking at right now. A live look up at Alta, or what should be. It's 44 degrees up there right now, so not necessarily snowmaking weather. This is a little bit troubling as we have opening day just about a week and a half away for a lot of our resorts, including up there at Alta. There's the live look. Might as well just pop it up right there. Sun is setting up at the higher elevations, and the visibility is pretty much unlimited. So just a couple partly cloudy skies. And here are your opening dates for this season. Brian had the first one to open November 10th. Solitude, Alta, Park City, aiming for the 17th. We'll see if that happens. Snow Basin going for closer to the end of the month. Snowbird as well. Deer Valley, December 2nd. And Brighton, as always, who knows? It could be tomorrow. They kind of just spur that on you right at the last minute. And the diehards get up there as fast as they can. Our precipitation chances through the week look pretty minimal as well, so we're not going to get too much, if any, snow up at the higher elevations, and the rain down here in the valleys is looking pretty minimal as well. We've got a couple of storms out to our west that are looking rather impressive right now, but it looks like once they get to us, they're going to kind of fizzle out. So we've got this one here streaming moisture into portions of southern Idaho. It's eventually going to try to work its way a little bit to the south and east overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. Just a couple of light rain showers out of that, but overall the weather pattern looks pretty darn quiet for the next several days. Here's that high-resolution future track as it tracks into our area. Just a couple of clouds overnight tonight, and then the light showers start in far northern Utah, up by the Utah-Idaho border overnight tonight around 2 a.m. And then by maybe 9 or 10, we could see a couple sprinkles here in Salt Lake County. Nothing falling south of that. The mountains may be getting a dusting out of this, but really it's not a huge storm. Don't need to cancel any plans. Saturday looks fine as well. And the next storm that we're looking for would be Sunday. Future precipitation amounts through 9 o'clock on Friday night, maybe 100th, 200ths of an inch towards Ogden, Logan. Maybe nothing here, but like I said, you can't rule out a couple sprinkles tomorrow right around mid-morning, so we'll be watching for that one. The next storm after that is that more impressive one out further to the west. It's going to continue to stream in that moisture the Pacific Northwest Friday evening into Saturday afternoon, and then it starts to sneak into our area through the day on Sunday. Maybe, again, bringing a couple light showers to the far northernmost parts of the state, but overall it looks pretty quiet. Most of these storms are just missing north for this time of year. Hopefully we can get a couple of these storms going towards the end of the month. By Thursday next week, we're going to be watching, let me back it up real quick. We're going to be watching this one storm that rolls through here Wednesday, potentially bringing those snow levels a little bit lower and increasing our chances for precipitation, giving us a little bit of colder air mass. But overall, it's really just quiet for the next 7 days, and especially down there in southwestern Utah, all we have is sunshine on those icons. Couple clouds rolling through this weekend, but overall not too bad. Those temperatures right where they should be for this time of year, in the lower 70s, overnight lows in the 40s. And here in Salt Lake City, we're looking at those temperatures in the 60s for the next 2 days. Oh, this is the AM. 60s through the weekend as well. Maybe a couple light rain showers there on Sunday also, but those cooler temperatures do come by the middle of next week. And it looks like up at Alta and Snowbird, I popped up this 7-day forecast. just to see what the snowmaking weather is like, to see if it's even possible. And Brian, it's not looking too hopeful. We might get a couple hours each morning where they could blow a little bit of snow, but it doesn't look like until next week that we get some really prime snowmaking conditions through the day, and maybe a couple of light showers as well there Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
You know how it is. When we get it,
yep.
Right?
I'm hoping we get it soon.
I know, and we're obviously going in depth on a number of things here related to the ski season. This is something obviously you're interested in, Trent. So, if you're not going to be slumming up the mountains there on the skins, you're going to actually use the transportation they provide. We're likely a few weeks away from ski season here if everything cooperates, right?
Exactly.
So with that comes some changes at Utah resorts, always announcing upgrades and things that have come along with the budget in the off season. Parking always a focal point, especially when you're talking about the Cottonwoods. So the conversation continues, whether the growth of the industry or people coming here, keeping up with demand. Today, both resorts in Big Cottonwood Canyon really putting it all out there that they will have reservations. There are now fees attached to those reservations. So just before we get into our discussion, here's what's expected to happen this season at Brighton Resort.
Brighton, we are moving to a full reservation policy. We should have that launched within the next week or so. What that means is there'll be a mix of free parking that's included with your season pass and paid parking. And so the summary of it all is, season pass holders included with their season pass, that parking is included. If you carpool to Brighton, that parking is free. If you just want to ride up on your own, then you have to pay a fee, and that fee is $20.
Does that include Icon pass holders as a season pass, or is it strictly a Brighton Resort season pass?
Strictly Brighton Resort season pass holders. But, Icon pass holders, hopefully they're savvy skiers and they understand a carpool and they got some friends and they can make that carpool reservation and go from there.
Why the change?
The demand, like our parking lots over the last couple of years have been overfilling. We've been having to turn too many people away. People are parking way down the canyon. It's just, hopefully we can provide a better experience for our guests.
What have some of the, safety hazards or dangers been like over the last couple of years with increased demand and people parking in places they shouldn't be? I mean, as somebody who's up there often, what does that look like when you go past some of these vehicles that are parking incorrectly, and what are the possible hazards?
I think a lot of that happens more down the canyon. I don't know if it's as much of a hazard as a frustration. Like if you're driving up the canyon and suddenly you realize, oh, I can't get past this car that's in the way, or there's so many cars in the canyon that I'm hoping that it's just a wreck or somebody's stuck, but really it's actually that the parking lots are full. It's not that somebody's just blocking the road. And so when you're waiting in your car for an hour to get up to something that should only take 20 minutes, and realize that the place is full and people are just sitting in their cars hoping that somebody leaves so they can get a spot, that's the frustration. And so we're hoping to eliminate that by encouraging people to make their reservations early. If we're out of reservations, we're going to be transparent, let them know parking's full, like ahead of time. Reservations have been to a max, and so you plan to ski another day. So hopefully it's just enhances that experience all around.
What does that capacity look like?
It's a good question. Our capacity, like to a number, on a good day, we can park maybe 1,000 cars, 1,100 cars on a really good day. But we're going to start out not like selling 1,100 parking reservations. We're going to, start much lower, see how it goes, be comfortable, and work our way into to the process. We know there's going to be frustrations up front. People may not know that a reservation is going to be needed. They're not going to understand how it works, things like that. And so we'll do the best we can to get the word out, let them know with, our social media, our emails, our website, all that stuff. But then when they get here, we're going to work with people and try to make sure that they know for the next time they come to visit.
Did you look to other resorts to see what they were doing, though, to kind of influence this decision, or was it really on your own, just seeing the need?
100%. I looked at everything, looked at how it worked for other resorts, other canyons, other states, and, trying to help out our partners in this canyon, UDOT, Forest Service. There's something needs to be changed, and hopefully us charging and requiring a reservation will cause less people, less traffic in the canyon, and it won't be as much of a UDOT problem or a Forest Service problem, and they won't be like trying to toll the canyon or any of these other things. And so we have a solution that we've thought of. I know that they're working on their things, and hopefully it'll just be a better experience for everybody this winter.
All right, let's head down Canyon a little bit, just next door at Solitude Mountain Resort. Some changes of their own. Solitude announcing today they will require mandatory reservations before 11 a.m. on weekends. They call that Friday through Sunday and holiday periods, December 15th through April 14th. It'll cost $35 to park, to be paid in advance per vehicle, unless you have 4 or more people in your car, which it then will be free. So they're really encouraging the carpool aspect, right? So I told you it's till 11. Between 11 and 1 on those days, parking will be available based on spots available. So you can show up and hope. Same pay structure. After 1 o'clock in the afternoon, parking is free. No reservations required. You follow me? Here's a lot of information. Cars with 4 or more will park for free every day with a parking reservation. That is Monday through Sunday. So I told you about the weekends. How about Monday through Thursday? A space available parking system will be in place before 1 o'clock. So you show up, you don't have to do the reservation, you can get your spot. It'll cost you $20 a vehicle for everyone less than 4 passengers, and that'll be paid on site, not something you have to do to pay in advance. So let's talk about this trend. I would love to talk to you about this if, oh, we don't have you here. I was hoping we would talk to you for this just a sec. I want to tell you before we get to this video, which is not related to skiing, there's a lot of information to unpack there. It's on our website, KUTV.com. There's an article I just wrote up about an hour or so ago. It is posted there if you'd like to learn more about Brighton and Solitude. Let's talk about this. This was in my neighborhood last night. Took this video after we heard a very loud crash. This Ford Bronco crashing into 2 trees here, basically the apartment complex nearby. You saw the response. So what is all of this about? Well, turns out the DPS public safety helicopter had been looking for that vehicle and following it around the Salt Lake Valley since about 6 o'clock. They first picked it up as a stolen vehicle in Taylorsville. Then that vehicle drove all around the valley, touching Riverton, Bluffdale, coming back up into the area. An officer spiked that vehicle after this had gone on for a few hours. This was not a pursuit on the ground. There were eyes in the sky watching this vehicle. I went back and listened to some radio traffic this afternoon of this. They had eyes on this the whole way. They spiked the vehicle 78th and 7th West. So west side of State Street, if you know the area, came across, there's State Street, took a quick right and a quick left, and that's where this scene is. I heard the vehicle from my house. You could hear the vehicle had popped tires at the time. I mean, it was loud, right? Crashed into that tree. The 2 people in that vehicle took off. The driver, River Bowman, has done this before. I was just combing court documents a few minutes ago. First, he did this in 2018, then 2019, then 2020. All different areas, all in the Salt Lake Valley, still out there driving, still out there stealing vehicles. The documents back it up. His passenger, Kirsten Ellsworth, also had warrants out for her arrest for certain things. We don't know the federal warrants that Bowman is wanted on. We haven't been able to get some of that information yet, but a lot to unpack here because this is a repeat offender, stealing vehicles, taking them for joyrides, and taking off from law enforcement. Can be very scary if you're on our roads. Just want to make this aware to you to go along with the video that you see on your screen. So we first told you about this with a push alert. You obviously have this video from my hand, right? So no one else was out there. So you saw it here on 2 News First. This morning, bright and early, Kristen McPeak was out there with a live report. We've obviously followed up on this throughout the day. Brian Malahi was tracking this, talking to Taylorsville police, talking to people in the neighborhood about what they heard, what they saw. Very frightening situation, of course, just to see the helicopter circling, the canine combing your neighborhood, police telling you to stay indoors. I've had neighbors reach out to me, of course, and say, hey, I mean, obviously you saw what happened last night. I'm sure they found out, if they are 2 News watchers, that we've been all over it. All right, Trent. You want to talk about parking? We have a minute. So, we were talking about Brighton and Solitude. You're a skier.
I am. A lot of time up at those resorts. I like this idea. I mean,
it's tough. It's tough for people to fully grasp, I think, because it is an additional fee for some, unless you do the carpool, unless you have the season pass already. Brighton's doing it right where they include it. So there are benefits of, obviously, if you get the pass already, you know you're safe. You just got to make the reservation, so you claim your spot, right?
Yeah, it's not
but how do you feel about the whole thing? Because this has changed a lot over the last 5 years, where more and more places, in both obviously Big and Little Cottonwood Canyon, Park City Mountain Resort, requiring reservations.
Yeah, it's getting tougher and tougher every single year to get out there. I mean, and there's only a certain carrying capacity. You can't build giant parking structures up in the parking lots up at Brighton. You can't keep expanding the parking lots. So at some point you're just going to reach that maximum capacity, and either you got to start tolling, or you got to start charging people to park up there.
Sure, finding other options.
Encouraging people to take the bus.
We're not going to use the G word in this show right now. I'm sure we will again. We will talk about that transportation method to be completed in 30 years or whatever it is.
Yep.
I'm sure it'll come up again in conversation, and I know it's part of many phases. So another in-depth conversation to come in the future here on 2 News Live. Thank you, Trent Parker. No Kit Kats today like earlier in the week. Thanks for joining us on 2 News Live. We're here Monday through Friday, 5:30. We are streaming live, KUTV.com, the 2 News mobile app. We're on Facebook. If you're out there scrolling and you stumble across, how about you give us a watch? And also on YouTube under the live section on our KUTV channel. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow for a Friday edition of 2 News Live.